Hello crafters and welcome. I'm Yana Smakula. I'm a passionate card maker, stamper, and an avid paper crafter. This video is a part of a series I host on my channel featuring 5 different ways to use same type products or technique or something in card making. Last time we talked about 5 ways to stamp backgrounds using non-background stamps, and I'm glad you found that video useful. In today's video, by popular request, I'm featuring 5 ways to use dies to get more use out of them. Dies are, of course, can be used for die cutting, but how else can we use this powerful tool in our crafting? Keep watching to find out. Now let's start with the basics. Die cutting. Everyone watching this video probably knows how to die cut, but did you know you can also do negative die cutting? You discard the positive die cut or maybe save it for another time and just use what is left, the negative. You can do some cool techniques with this, and my favorite one is to use a smaller shaped die, cut it repeatedly, forming a die cut negative pattern. It takes a little longer to die cut, but this way I get way more use from my dies. There are, of course, dies designed specifically with negative die cutting in mind, like a sentiment on this card, and those are a treat to use. You can even do your negative die cutting with coordinating dies, either recessing the stamped and die cut image in the opening or skipping adding the coordinating image altogether. Finally, you can use both positive and negative die cuts for your cards, like I have on these examples. Since stamping is such a hot topic these days, I thought I would mention the fact that you can use your dies to make stamps. Yeah, this is a super old technique, yet something that is still being used today. All you need for this is some fun foam, a die, a clear block, and re-positionable adhesive. You can die cut shapes from fun foam, ink them up like regular stamps, and use them. They won't be as durable, but this is still a fantastic way to get more use out of your dies. The eggs, carrots, and other background shapes on these cards were all stamped using DIY fun foam stamps. The next cool thing you can use your dies for is dry embossing. This includes using both background dies to dry emboss the entire card background or single basic shape dies to outline an area on a card. It also includes using letter dies to dry emboss custom sentiments for your cards, or taking it one step further by making custom embossing plates using individual die cuts. All of these will require the use of an embossing mat. Some machines come with one, but some don't, so you might need to purchase it separately. You can also dry emboss with coordinating dies to add embossed outline around a stamped image to emphasize it on your card. One of the newer things you can use your dies for is hot foiling, and this one opens up a world of possibilities. Now, you do need to own a hot foil machine and specialty thermal foils. Those foils that are used in laminators will not work for this. Using this technique, you can add beautiful thin line foiled effects using your regular and also coordinating dies. And you can even add foiled halo-like outlines to your stamped images. Pretty cool, right? Finally, we can always use our dies to make window cards, and I know this was #1 reason back in the day when I got my die cutting machine and dies. I wanted to be able to die cut circles and squares and rectangles in my card bases to make them into window cards. We can also use our dies to make shaker cards and use up all of those piles of sequins and beads that we all have in our stash. And of course, dies can be used to make shaped cards. I don't have many examples of those, but it's something that I'm looking to fix in the future. As a bonus for this episode, I wanted to remind us that while thin edge dies are designed to die cut mostly paper and cardstock, they can also cut other select materials like fun foam that I've mentioned before and wool felt. Not the cheap synthetic felt, but the expensive kind, the wool felt. And you can also try cutting other types of fabric. It's best to use not the most detailed die for this to have the best results. Now, there are at least 3 more ways to use dies beyond their intended purpose that I can think of right now. But to keep this video on the shorter side, I'll save them for another episode. Do you have other tips and tricks for using dies for your card making? Share them in the comments below. And while you're at it, let me know what product or idea you'd like to see featured in the next episode of this series. On the screen, there's a link to a previous episode in case you missed it, and another fun video for you. Subscribe now not to miss any new card making videos.